This is Educate with Fumi. You're welcome. My name is Fumi Modupe. I must have visited about 6 countries. That's so little though, but then I have traveled a bit to Paris. I've been to Canada, UK, um, Rwanda, South Africa. I've visited Egypt. Um, where else? Dubai. I think that's about it. Nigerians, yeah, Nigerians are well traveled actually, and Nigerians, figuratively, we actually can say Nigerians are everywhere. Nigerians love to travel. We are found in the remotest place around the world. You find a Nigerian, in every city around the world. I'm sure someone should take that statistics. Nigeria everywhere. And when even where I don't think I've ever been anywhere that I did not see Nigerians. And most of the times when I get to meet them, they're either like business owners or working with government or studying, and they're professors. I did a program at Liverpool, and I realized I actually lots of Nigerian um, lecturers in the UK. They're studying and they're teaching. There are also lots of business people that are Nigerians around the world. So Nigerians are well traveled. I remember then I met this very successful surgeon who is a Nigerian and has his own business there and is really doing well. So I have seen Nigeria in their thing, beyond study, doing their own business and flourishing out. Regards to our success abroad, which of course even the world recognizes that and gives us kudos. There has been, research and statistics about successful Nigerians abroad. For me, when I read this and when I see this, even when I travel, there's always this longing that this kind of success will be shared back home. This kind of prosperity that that we have in the diaspora could be, extended back home. And for me, because also of my work with international education and my experience with relating to even universities abroad, I will say that it is high time that we start to repatriate knowledge back home. So repatriation, because of technology, there's so many things that are possible, and we wouldn't have to, spend like billions or millions of dollars to achieve. I believe that most of these things can be achieved once the government is intentional and then we have policies put in place to achieve some of these things. So I give you an instance. When I was in Canada, and also a lot of the students that I work with love to go to Canada. Canada has something called internship. So there's Canada internship, and it's a big thing. It is big, and it's also one of the backup for higher education development in Canada. And what that does is that literally speaking, most of the employers, startups, big companies in Canada are almost compelled. They're excited to absorb young students for internship. Usually, it is unpaid internship, but definitely they take care of feeding, transport, and maybe little money um, for phone bills and the likes. But companies are excited. Students are excited to to go in and have voluntary internship, which makes them learn. They learn faster. There are lots of um, experience gained during this. So let's take, for instance, thousands of Nigerians that are going abroad to study. Either they're in the UK, Canada, US, Germany, Australia, even some gravitating towards China. What I will encourage more of our students to do in order to encourage repatriation of knowledge, which is giving back to their country without necessarily, being, being stressful or even investing much in it, is that our students start to focus on research studies that will augment knowledge back home. What do I mean? If you look around the country, you find out that our medication, for instance, are either imported from the UK, the US, or local brands also that are in the marketplace. But if you look at, let's say, popular diseases that are ravaging Africa, for instance, malaria, we have diseases like cancer, diseases that affect lots of women and children, and we tend to use medications that have been researched abroad. Why don't we start to research medications, usage of medications from our own products back home, from our own herbs? So I believe that a lot of students, even our professors that have gone abroad to study, because they're looking at things like alternative medicine. More research should be done on alternative medicine, and because we have lots of potent herbs and plants that can actually cure us as a people, as Africans, as with our own kind of genotype and body type and blood type. There are also lots of needs, in our environment, pollution, solar. So many of these things can be researched better by students that have, left the country. There are improved research method, improved research funding that can be used to now research more of the challenges back home. And then such research findings are put in platforms that are now easily accessed by young students back home, by startups back home, by business owners. These are just information, and I believe that that is the start of a knowledge transfer and a knowledge repatriation. Another aspect is in the aspects of internship and mentorship, which, as simplistic as it sounds, can actually be intentional. I remember about 3 years ago, Up until 3 years ago, I was running a sister company, Global Interns, that was helping with the placement of young Nigerian students, even from high school and undergrads for work experience. I went up onto, placing some few Nigerian students that were studying abroad in companies that were in Nigeria. How? That is online internships. This is growing worldwide. It's growing in Australia, it's growing in Canada, it's growing in the UK. Online internships. If we have lots of business owners that are Nigerians in the diaspora, I dare say that it will be almost seamless for Nigerian business owners across the world to start mentoring their own back home. The young minds, the young students who do not necessarily have that opportunity to be able to actually in person study abroad. Mentoring, internship, just a conduit, a system whereby it makes Nigerians in diaspora excited and, excited to give back through this means. But if there are no intentional, there are no platforms, there are no, hubs or system created to be able to encourage this repatriation, then I dare say that Nigeria is missing out. Africa is missing out. Haven't spent millions of dollars in learning abroad. The most important will be to actually use such knowledge to develop home. And that doesn't necessarily mean even to Japada, as in to return home. Knowledge today has become transient and can definitely and is definitely transferable through many means. And I think we have to start gravitating towards this positivity, towards knowledge repatriation, developing knowledge beyond big organizations that have this means to do this, but to further drill down that knowledge in diaspora, knowledge abroad, intellects, experts abroad should find a conduit to give back to the yearning youths back home. Thank you.